Greetings, I'm Dr. Cedric C. Maddox. I'm here with my good friend, Dr. A. Jamil Johnson, and we are Ekklessia practitioners.
Ekklessia practitioners, the called out ones to do the work of the church.
And we have been in this business a combined 30 years. And at this point, we have noticed some things about the church as well as leadership in the church in particular. Dr. Johnson,
Yes,
why Ekklessia practitioners?
Ekklessia practitioners, as you mentioned, we've been in the ministry game for 30 some years. And you and I have had extensive conversations throughout the years.
Exactly.
And we've noticed an apathy in the church. And we've noticed particularly there's a leadership vacuum that we're not quite sure how it's going to be filled.
Wow.
We're seeing some things in the church that we never thought we would see.
You're right.
Because when you and I look back over our years of growing up in church, in the 80s, the 90s, and maybe even the early 2000s, church had great fellowship.
Yes, it did.
Strong fellowship.
Strong fellowship.
And even though there were leaders in place, there was always somebody that could be put into a leadership. But the tide has changed in the church.
Right.
Right now, we may have a leader, but we're not real sure of the leader that's to come behind.
Yes.
So that's one of the things as Ekklessia practitioners who are looking at the church, knowing that the church is the called out ones.
So with that being said, as Dr. Johnson had just specified, leadership dynamic has changed, especially in the church, and we are seeing an apathy, if you will. It is hard to develop a leadership pipeline. I think that's where you were going.
Absolutely.
Right? How can Ekklessia practitioners help with developing a leadership pipeline?
Well, Ekklessia practitioners has developed the concept and model of clarifying teams.
Gotcha, good point.
So we have thought this thing through that churches need to work and ministries need to put together team concepts. Not that it's a new concept,
right?
Because it goes all the way back. We can go back to the beginning in Genesis, and find teams. We've narrowed it down to Acts chapter 13. What we're seeing is that people can work better together, than apart. Now, in churches, you may have had a chair or a vice chair. But now, instead of looking at it from that perspective, let's look at a team of people working on the mission of that particular ministry, working together. Much like you and I love sports. You played football growing up. We were both in the band.
Exactly.
And we both grew up with team concept.
Right.
And so now we're just taking what we have grown up with and known and seen work. And now addressing the apathy that we now see in the church, put that team concept in and make the team concept work.
To those of you who are listening to us, team concept. And we know in our culture today that there is a lot of individuality. However, the I. However, what I noticed is that you referenced Acts chapter 13.
Right.
5 different personalities.
Right. Strong
personalities coming together.
Right.
If you don't mind, speak a little bit about how learning styles impacts the team concept.
Okay, so learning styles is basically used in education.
Right.
Educators have been using learning styles for throughout history. In addressing students and making sure that students who learn on different levels are able to obtain, absorb, comprehend the lesson that the teacher is teaching. So that's in a simplistic way.
In a simplistic way.
Of looking at learning styles. But we take those same learning styles that teachers evaluate students in their classroom, we take those same learning styles and apply them to a team, whether that team be 3 or 5 or 6.
Okay.
When those team members learn and understand their learning style,
okay,
the way that they comprehend and absorb information, process information, that then creates what you're going to talk about a little later, helps to evaluate a cohesion.
Yeah.
When I better understand who's the analytical person on the team versus the common sense person on the team,
right,
versus the dynamic person on the team.
That'd be me.
Right? So like you and I are different.
Right.
You just made note that you are the dynamic person.
Right.
I'm the analytical person.
Okay.
Right? So as the analytical person, I want to see it on paper. I want to study it.
Right.
I want to read it. I want to research it. And then I want to sit down with the team. I want to go over everybody's part. I want to review the mission statement, the vision statement. I want to set goals. I want to create plans. And I'm going to pass it out to everybody.
Right.
That's me as the analytical person.
Okay.
You're sitting at the table in the ministry meeting as the dynamic learner.
Right.
You looking at me saying, Johnson, what we gonna do today?
That's it. Kind of like I started off.
Right.
It's like just flow with
That's
it.
there. So the dynamic learner says, let's just do it. But once I understand why you do what you do,
right,
then you can understand why I process the way I process, and I understand the way you process.
Right.
That helps to create an environment where the participants, the team members, they know each other. And they don't get frustrated. Because I could get frustrated with you.
Right.
I'm saying, come on, man, let's get it done.
Yeah.
And you saying to me, why we got to have all this paperwork? Why we got to analyze all of this? But once we understand our learning style, then we can better appreciate the information that I bring.
Right.
And then I can better appreciate you on this is how we can get it done now. That's learning styles.
So as you can see, you all, we're just hitting the tip of the iceberg right now, talking about how to get your team to be a clarifying team, especially in the church dynamic. But this applies across the board. Today we're talking about emotional intelligence, and all that really is understanding people's learning styles, understanding how people communicate. That's all it is, really.
Right.
So with that being said, this is where Ekklessia practitioners can come in and help you with your team. Now, I want to push this envelope just a little bit further.
Okay.
I want to push it just a little bit further, man, because they need to understand, what does love languages have to do with a team?
Okay, so the concept of clarifying teams.
Yes.
We incorporate learning styles.
Right.
Which has an educational component.
Right.
Now we take an emotional component.
Okay.
Of the love languages. Now, love languages, again, is not anything that's new.
Right.
Because Gary Chapman created the book years ago on the love languages.
That's right.
And it has helped couples better their marriage. I remember like when my best friend got married, and they were battling back and forth. Battling back and forth in conversation. And I was like, y'all don't know each other's learning style. I mean, you don't know each other's love language. They were like, well, what is that? So I broke it down to them. The love languages are physical touch, words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts. When you learn the love language, you can communicate better.
That's right.
So once they learned their love language, they started to communicate better.
Okay.
So now we bring that to a clarifying team. That's why we say it's a clarifying team.
That's right.
Because the clarifying team understands the team members better. Now, my love language, for example, is physical touch.
Right.
And words of affirmation.
Right.
What's yours?
In the reverse order. Mine's are words of affirmation, physical touch.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's carried out, exercised in your marriage.
Yep.
Right? But on a team, when team members know that as a dynamic learner, and your love language is words of affirmation.
Okay.
So then I say to you, well, Matt, I appreciate how you are ready to engage.
Okay.
Right? See how that brought a smile to your face?
Exactly.
Right? I just affirmed you.
That's it.
And I'll say, I appreciate how you bring such energy to our team. Again, I just affirmed you.
That's right.
I affirm how you process information and carry out an activity.
Okay.
Engage in an activity.
Right.
Put immediate thought to an exercise.
Yes.
To a goal.
Yes.
To the mission. And you would not allow, as the team, as a dynamic learner, you won't allow the team to lag behind.
Wow.
You're not gonna allow that as a dynamic learner.
Gotcha.
So now that I know that as a team member, and I know your love language, our team has just become better. Because what we have taken out of the equation is any animosity, any friction that could come up without understanding each other. Now we better understand. That's our clarification. Because people get in ministry, but they don't know each other.
That's right.
Like, why y'all, we're saying, why y'all can't get along with each other?
But you love Jesus.
And you love the church. But how many times have you and I heard from a church member, I can't work with so-and-so? How many times have we heard that? And you said to yourself, this is Jesus' church. This is Jesus' ministry. How can you say you can't get along? What they were saying was, we don't understand each other's love language. We don't know how they process information.
Oh, that's good.
And so therefore, we have people on ministry teams in the past, and they didn't know each other.
Wow.
So that's why when you and I started brainstorming Ekklessia practitioners, we wanted to help teams and people get along better in the church.
Yes.
And carry out ministry better.
It's almost like, when you're talking to a professional sports team and they know each other in that locker room.
Right.
Now, what we see on the field is execution, but they really understand what role that each other play in that locker room before they hit the court.
We can take it even back further than that.
How far you want to go back?
The coaches, how much research do they do?
Oh, my goodness.
On a particular player before they draft the player.
Yes.
They're learning who that player is and see if that player is going to best fit in that system.
Fit in that system. Some would even go as far as, does that player fit that city?
Right.
Like, do they really represent who we are as a city, as a culture, and things of that nature? All of that coming in to being a clarifying team. Wow. Dr. Johnson, we really appreciate you giving us that insight. Hey, look, y'all, this is what Ekklessia practitioners are all about. We're about helping organizations excel in their edifying of each other and exalting God in the kingdom. And so we want to make sure that we can help you as well.
Part of that, our mission is that we help bring out the excellence in a person.
Right.
So, and the way that we do that is we're helping them better understand themselves.
That's right.
So you mentioned this can be done in church, but it can also be done in an office environment.
Right.
So how many people in an office environment, even though they spend 8 hours a day, how well do they really know each other?
Wow.
And how many times is in a working environment are HR problems presented? A lot of times.
A lot.
And it's all because the clarification of who a person is not known.
Right.
So just because you're sitting around the table in a board meeting or now on a Zoom call, that does not mean you know a person. Just because you see their face, you're addressing them in email conversation, you're working on a project, when you better understand who the person is, then you can better work with a person.
Exactly. Well, Dr. Johnson, I really appreciate that. Hey, check us out, Ekklessia practitioners. You want to get what we have to offer? Because in today's environment, if you don't know who you're working with, you will not be a great team.
We've talked about the learning styles, but there's some additional concepts to clarifying teams.
Okay.
And one is cohesion.
Yes.
All right. So I see you got excited about that.
Yeah. I love cohesion.
All right. So what is that? What is cohesion, and how is that related to a clarifying team?
Cohesion is about all of the parts coming together to make the whole. Cohesion, if you just want to break it down in a very practical way, is really having a compelling vision that everybody agrees upon and everybody's working toward doing their individual part to make sure we get there. For instance, cohesion is the school bus the kids ride every morning on their way to school. You know, you got tires, you got seats, you got an engine, but unless you put it all together, you have nothing.
Right. Cohesion.
But when you put it together, you have a bus. It has cohesion. It has one function. What I have learned about cohesion, especially when it comes to leadership, is that you have to do more than just communicate the vision. You have to really paint the vision in such a way that everybody sees how important they are to that whole coming together. For instance, I one time did this exercise where I said, hey, everybody, give me your perfect sunset. And I went around the room and somebody says, yeah, mine is over the mountains. Someone else says the golden fields of the Midwest. And then somebody says I'm sitting on the lake. And then they finally asked me, and I was the leader of the group, what's the perfect sunset? I said, man, sitting on the beach in Jamaica. They were like, oh, that's a great one. But nobody had the same vision.
Right.
And when I communicated the vision, I realized then that everybody was working for a perfect sunset, but we did not have cohesion.
So then, did everybody understand the vision?
Ooh. Now, Dr. Johnson, you just hit on something that is essential in leadership, and that is communicating clearly to your clarifying team your compelling vision. Did you get that?
And just because the vision is spoken doesn't mean it's understood.
That's right.
Talk a little further about what the leader then needs to do to effectively articulate and communicate that vision to the team.
One of the very most important things, one of the first things I think every leader should do is make sure everyone speaks the same language. That's
not love language.
Not love language, but same language, actually same verbiage, same terminology, and everyone knows what that terminology means within your organization. For instance, Some of us will use the word disciple.
Okay.
Others will use the word believer. Others will use the word follower. 3 words all referencing someone who is acknowledging Jesus Christ as Lord, but yet those 3 different terms can be used either synonymously or they can be used in a different context. Follower could really mean that somebody is dedicated. Believer could be talking about a new convert. Disciple means somebody's really disciplined. So when you use those words interchangeably within your organization, they don't know what you are referencing unless you give them clarifying or clear communication about your terms. Right. Everyone in your organization, if they're going to be cohesive, if you're going to have a cohesive team, must use the same language and understand the terms throughout the organization.
When a vision is communicated.
Yes.
And what can be frustrating is even the people who are closest to the leader still not hear the leader's vision because they may not understand the terms or speaking the language.
Right.
So then the leader, that also goes back to the learning styles. You know, the leader making sure they know the learning styles in order to know how to communicate effectively to the team.
Yes. When you know how to effectively communicate to the team, it will change the whole dynamic of your team, which means this takes time.
Right.
This takes
vision
time.
casting.
Vision casting takes time. You cannot assume that just because you said it once or twice that they actually have heard. As a matter of fact, in the book Simple Church, it says that as a leader, you need to say it so much that you get sick of saying it. By the time you get sick of saying it or communicating, the people are just starting to hear it. They're just starting to get it.
Right.
And so that's one of those important factors.
So elaborate a little bit more then.
Yes.
How then do you formulate? How is cohesion formulated on a clarifying team?
Cohesion is formulated on a clarifying team with 2 major concepts. After vision casting and communication, you have to move towards or in alignment, and then finally focus.
I'm not quite sure we understand.
Okay.
You said alignment.
Yes.
And focus.
Yes.
Okay. Deal with both of those. What is alignment and what is focus?
I want to deal with alignment first. And the reason why is because when you bring in your organization into alignment, that means, yes, we're speaking the same language, okay? But also, yes, we are agreeing with the process. We are agreeing with the systems that will help us achieve the vision. We are agreeing about what steps or goals that we are putting in place in order to achieve vision. Alignment means that now we are coming together in cohesion and we're operating the same, in the same direction for the same goal. Let's go back to the school bus analogy. If the front end is out of alignment, the driver of the bus
is shaking.
Yes, is having the hardest time.
Keeping it steered.
Keeping it in the lane. The bus is shaking. You putting on the brakes, and as you know, the stopping is jerky and all of this kind of stuff.
Dr. Maddox.
Yes.
Take that example and put it now into a ministry.
Oh my goodness.
Where a ministry is out of alignment.
When the ministry is out of alignment, you have 1 or 2 personalities that are strong enough to pull people slightly out of direction. And now senior leadership is working extra hard, trying to keep everyone going in the same path, on the same journey, in the same direction, but there's always a pull, and there's a tug, and then there's a stop, and then there's an interruption, and then there's all of these things when it could operate a lot more smoothly. Yeah. Focus is the ability to say no to everything that will pull you out of alignment.
You mean if somebody asks us to do something,
right,
and it's not really our ministry focus,
yeah,
then we should say no.
You gotta say no. Look, every body, every entity, every culture has its mission.
Okay.
And you got to be able to say no to everything else. All right? Since we're talking about in a church context, let me spell it out this way. Some churches are very missional driven.
Right.
Very missional driven. That's who God has called them to be. So, yes, they still got to disciple, but discipleship in a heavy learning curriculum is not their focus.
Right.
Right? They are learning in the mission, while someone else may be heavy evangelistic focus, which means, we're not going to get a bunch of missions out of them, even though they got a lot of people. But they're not doing a whole lot of missions because that's not their focus. Their focus is about bringing people to the salvation of Jesus Christ. So, no to everything else that's going to pull you away. It's a great idea. It doesn't mean that it's God's idea for your church. It can be a great idea out there in corporate America. It doesn't mean that it is the right idea for your organization based on what your organization's focus is. You got to be able to stay focused. Now,
even though somebody may love the customer service of Chick-fil-A,
yes,
but they have a taste for hamburgers.
Right.
And so they go to Chick-fil-A saying, I love the customer service. Is it possible y'all could do hamburgers? I think their answer is going to be,
no, we do chicken. We do chicken.
We don't do that. And so that's saying no.
Right.
And staying in alignment.
Right.
Staying in focus.
Yes.
So that there is
cohesion.
There is cohesion.
Yes.
Why is that important for us as Ekklessia practitioners?
It's important for us as Ekklessia practitioners because we're talking about eternity is at stake. When you think about the function of the church is not just about being able to provide, if you will, community service, but the real function of the church is to provide the opportunity for as many people as possible to get to heaven in right relationship with God. And anything that's going to take us out of focus, get us out of alignment, cause us not to be in cohesion, is something that has to be eliminated.
Right.
There are too many people within our churches with good intentions, but they don't have clarity of the overall mission.
Right. So part of what Ekklessia practitioners does is we come in and we take either individual teams,
yes,
and work with those teams. As my professor used to say, coach them up. We coach them up on that clarifying concept.
Yep.
And then allow them to go work, and then we follow back up to make sure that they're following and keeping the principles of clarifying teams in place.
That's right.
Right. So we could also do that for larger groups and seminars. So we've had, one thing I have appreciated is being able to work with you as a dynamic learner, and I'm an analytical learner, but then be able to share how we are different,
yes,
but similar at the same time, to help other people understand that so that they work together more cohesively.
Exactly.
Yeah. So this has been Ekklessia Practitioners. Allow us to come to help you become a clarifying team. Dr. Cedric Maddox, I'm Jamel Johnson. Stay tuned for our next session of Ekklessia Practitioners.
Hi, I'm Dr. Cedric C. Maddox. I'm here with Dr. Aaron Jamel Johnson, and we are Ekklessia practitioners. Good. So why Ekklessia practitioners? And then we're going to go with the questions. Is that a little bit more of a script for you? I mean, I just be flowing, you know? I'm just flowing with it, you know. It's natural.